Companions saw that he was acting more defensively and displaying obvious symptoms of stress, including prolonged pauses, restrained grins, and careful attention to body language. Tasha K's pledge of more revelations and the purported DNA proof created a climate where even ordinary encounters held significant ramifications, escalating both personal and popular unrest. Jasmine's story was still mysterious. Sources claim that she had been keeping a low profile, staying out of the public eye and using social media sparingly. According to several sources, she was seeking advice from legal counsel. Fans conjectured about her intentions in light of the ramifications of the continuous rumors, with some seeing her absence as a sign of emotional suffering, and others as a calculated move. Theories ranging from defensive tactics to covert efforts at narrative control flourished because of the uncertainty surrounding her conduct. Every little detail, remark, or message was examined for significance, giving depth to a narrative already full of intrigue and emotional intricacy. The drama persisted because of Tasha K's continuing participation. Fans were kept interested by her mysterious social media postings and live feeds, implying more receipts and unreported exchanges that may make matters more complicated. She spoke of very emotional, private, and unresolved conflict-filled interactions during one session, depicting a tense and resentful love triangle with veiled complaints. The audience responded immediately, searching for hints in every phrase, pause, and accent. Increased involvement is shown by the anticipation generated by Tasha K's chosen revelations, with viewers coming back time and time again for according to reports. There were continuing private interventions by friends and family in an effort to ease tensions and provide direction, as well as updates and conjecture over the next step. These conversations, according to insiders, were emotionally intense and included tears, quiet pauses, and frank observations. While some promoted patience and moderation, stressing the need of carefully addressing delicate matters, others urged direct confrontation to clear up misconceptions. Behind-the-scenes work like this adds additional layer to the narrative, showing how interpersonal connections and public scrutiny overlap, with each choice being open to interpretation and condemnation from outside sources. Fans avidly analyzed social media posts, videos, and interviews as online responses became more intense. Users successfully co-created the story as it developed by exchanging hypotheses, examining timeframes, and debating the veracity of purported proof. The enthusiasm was evident on many platforms, as response videos multiplied, hashtags trended, and podcasts with episodes devoted to theater analysis. The story's visibility and perceived importance were further increased by the audience's emotional investment in negotiating the conflict between belief, doubt, and conjecture. There were ongoing rumors of altercations and heated discussions between Mendeecees and Yandi. According to insiders, there were times when conversations were broken up by pauses, thoughtful quiet, and obvious signs of emotional stress. Another level of intricacy was introduced by the purported DNA evidence. Fans filled in the gaps left by a lack of public information by combining recorded occurrences with speculative tales, interpreting every gesture and expression for significance and conjuring up scenarios of confrontation, confession, and attempted reconciliation. Subtle tension, circumspect speech, and cautious handling of public personalities were all signs of the strain in encounters with other members of the love and hip-hop group. These exchanges, which were seen as indications of uneasiness or collusion, helped to the impression of a broad, interrelated drama. Every interaction served as material for conjecture, which increased the intricacy of the story and the stakes for the participants' emotions. The combination of individual and because of the unpredictable nature of public dynamics, audiences remained interested and passionately involved in the result. As the story went on, the interaction between perception, concealment, and conjecture continued to be crucial. Every little disclosure or vague remark provoked heated debate among supporters, making an effort to construct a logical chronology from sparse and sometimes incongruous data. The suspense was maintained by expecting further revelations from Tasha K, which promoted continued participation and ongoing evaluation. The development of the story, influenced by both recorded occurrences and fan interpretation, represented the powerful fusion of human curiosity with controversy, celebrity scrutiny, and emotional resonance. In the end, the narrative came to a point where responsibility, clarity, and conclusion were still elusive. The roles that Yandandi, Mendeecees, and Jasmine played were characterized by secrecy, conjecture, as well as emotional strain. Tasha K, however, served as the impetus, directing the audience and shaping the story. Interpretation. The intense emotional content, intricate interpersonal relationships, and elevated stakes produced a story that made it difficult to distinguish between entertainment, perception, and reality, maintaining involvement, and making certain that followers were enthralled with each new step. The consequences of the activities that were taking place went beyond interpersonal relationships, impacting media coverage, public opinion, and conversation on social media. Reaction videos, popular themes, and hashtags spread, demonstrating the story's wide-ranging influence and the audience's intense interest in the characters and the speculative story. Every new appearance, comment, or post was examined for hints and evaluated using theof, mistrust, or encouragement, and incorporated into the larger discourse that surrounded the developing drama that was developing. In this setting, fans took an active role in creating meaning and determining intent. The intricacy of the story, together with the selective revelations and unclear actions, created an environment where speculation, emotional involvement, and participation were all linked. Each and every perceived gesture, post, or exchange had meaning, which strengthened the narrative's momentum and made sure that the ongoing events continued to be a major point of conversation. The strain became so great that even little changes, things like fleeting social media posts or informal comments made during appearances, might rekindle discussion and conjecture. According to insiders, Mendeecees and Yandhi were both well aware of the possible consequences of their conduct. Judiciously regulating appearances, remarks, and exchanges to preserve poise when handling personal and public anticipations. The ensuing drama, heightened by media attention and fan interaction, produced an ongoing cycle of Fans are talking about Tasha K's recent drop nonstop, and the internet is currently in complete chaos. Tasha K says she has receipts, which is a startling new development that has the hip-hop and love communities in a frenzy. Actual DNA evidence that could reveal one of the most significant lies in the marriage between Mendeecees and Yandhi. Everyone wants to know, and the streets of YouTube are ablaze with rumors. Was Mendeecees lying once more, or is this simply another uncontrollably crazy rumor? When Tasha K went live late yesterday night, she gave away that she had indisputable proof linked to a covert paternity test. Fans flocked to her channel after hearing her mysterious remarks, leaving comments flooded with questions and incredulous comments. She was referred to be a truth-teller by some, but others said she was inciting drama to get attention. However, there's no denying that Yandhi's name is trending worldwide because to the accusations. There are now rumors that Yandhi was taken by surprise and was unaware of these purported DNA findings until the information was made public. Insiders think this might be the moment that ultimately destroys their picture-perfect image, while sources close to the couple say tensions are at an all-time high. However, what is really happening behind the scenes? And is Mendeecees or Tasha K speaking the truth? From this point on, the narrative just becomes stranger. The instant Tasha, the love and hip-hop community as a whole, experienced a social media shockwave when K went live last night. As she hinted that she had documentation so indisputable they might upend a marriage, fans were riveted to their screens. Rumors and whispers started right away. While some anticipated a discovery that may completely alter the Yandhi and Mendeecees tale, others thought it was just another theatrical ploy. The comment sections erupted with words ranging from incredulity to rage, and the tension was nearly palpable. Fans questioned if Mendeecees had really gone too far once again. Was Yandhi going to locate the difficult way? According to insiders, the tension had been increasing for some months. Mendeecees has been remarkably reticent, avoiding interviews, removing tweets, and maintaining silence on social media, which stoked interest and suspicion. He said that when he believed no one was watching, his pals saw the tension on his face and the twitch in his hands. Yandhi, who was usually composed, has been tweeting cryptic comments about loyalty, trust, and integrity, which many saw as subtle allusions to the purported scandal. Sometimes the truth is closer than you think, the caption of one Instagram story became the focal point of many fan disputes and ideas. The truth remained elusive, looming like a storm in the backdrop as everyone worked to piece it together, awaiting an attack. Tasha K claims that the DNA evidence she alluded to was more than a passing remark. Fans were left reeling once it was connected to a paternity test that purportedly implicated Mendeecees. She gave a hazy description of the evidence, saying that the screenshots, papers, and supporting testimony all suggested a tale that had been kept under wraps. Her smile simply added to the terrible anticipation, as the crowd, unable to resist, barraged her live broadcast with questions. She sipped her drink and continued, "You'll see everything soon," allowing the tension to build up like a rubber band that is about to burst. The public was anxious to find out whether this indicated that Mendes had concealed another secret or that he had lied about a kid. And engagement skyrocketed due to conjecture alone. By using excerpts from Tasha's live session, bloggers and influencers swiftly disseminated the story on various platforms. Numerous timelines that alluded to previous Love and Hip Hop episodes, interviews, and social media postings that implied conflict between Mendes and another lady were reproduced. A few admirers remembered noticing little motions in earlier instances where Mendes seemed anxious, much like Jasmine did at spontaneous occasions. A rising mistrust was fueled by every little fact. Trending hashtags were Mendeecees' revelation of a Yandi justice and Jurassic receipts demonstrating the level of interest the internet community had in figuring out the tale. According to close friends, Yandi's response was a combination of bewilderment and circumspect reserve. According to reports, she spent hours blogging, thinking, and confiding exclusively in herself, rather of confronting Mendeecees right away. Closest partners. According to insiders, she struggled to maintain her poise in public, while confronting the alleged betrayal head-on. Fans scrutinized every word, every nuanced post she made on the internet. Pause, as well as every emoji. The high. Interpretation varied from a subtle appeal for comprehension to a direct allusion to dishonesty. The seriousness of her feelings was evident to those who were observing. Her serene demeanor seemed to conceal a tempest of betrayal and heartache. The relationship between Yandi, Mendes, and Jasmine became the subject of many conversations. According to Tasha K, Jasmine had been communicating with Mendes for months, sending texts that alluded to emotional strain and concealment. Tasha explained the purported messages without giving away all the details, but they suggested a relationship that had been kept secret, even from Yandi. The audience was left wondering about timing and motivations, wondering whether this was a new problem or a reignited old one. Because of the story's ambiguity, followers were compelled to fill in the blanks with their own ideas, transforming social media into a courtroom, where each post, gesture, and video clip served as proof. A dot. Additionally, fans developed an obsession with little visual clues. A picture images of Jasmine sporting a certain bracelet went viral because some people thought it mirrored a chain or other item Mendeecees had been shown sporting in earlier episodes. In an attempt to uncover a glimmer of truth, the online community studied lighting, angles, and reflections. Even though there was no proof, the rumors alone kept the story going, and every new picture or post provoked a new round of criticism. A perfect storm for viral material was generated by the high stakes of personal connections, mystery, and suspected deceit. One source claims that when Yandi and a common acquaintance disclosed in a private chat that Yandi knew something was amiss, even though she didn't have all the information, the tension increased. According to reports, she inquired about late-night meetings, unforeseen calls, and mysterious absences, which all made her suspicious. Sources claim that Mendeecees made an effort to be normal in the meantime, by downplaying worries and maintaining lighthearted public encounters. Fans who kept tabs on every step online were able to speculate and argue the story because of the difference between the private strain and the public facade. In keeping with her penchant for creating drama, Tasha K hinted that further details will be revealed shortly. Anticipation was heightened by her implication that more receipts and context were on the way. "We need proof. He can't get away with this," was one of the many comments left by viewers in response to the immediate reaction. And, "Yandi deserves the truth." The craze wasn't limited to the internet. Friends and uncertain if the leaks were real or the result of a publicity ploy, family members allegedly started chatting in private circles. As the story started to dominate entertainment news cycles and trend on various platforms, even casual fans of hip-hop and love couldn't help but be enthralled. Relationships outside of the primary trio were reportedly impacted by the purported fallout from the revelation. Yandi's friends voiced their worries and gave guidance. Although some fans, the atmosphere grew almost theatrical as possibilities. Of furious debates, passionate confrontations, and heartfelt admissions were conjectured regarding potential conflicts between Mendeecees and other cast members. The story illustrated the frailty of public personas when private affairs clash with social media scrutiny, loyalty being put to the test, and trust being betrayed. Whether confirmed or not, each rumor helped to create a plot that enthralled viewers like a serialized drama. Meanwhile, there was further conjecture over Jasmine's involvement. She has reportedly been avoiding social media, removing messages, and skipping public events, according to certain online groups. Others implied that she was seeking legal advice in order to shield herself from any criticism as the story developed. Tasha K was a key player in the continuing conversation because of her account of Jasmine's encounters with Mendeecees and her well-known background on reality TV. Viewers argued about intents, reasons, and the timing of said acts, resulting in a complicated web of interpersonal and emotional intrigue that kept viewers interested. When purported screenshots of chats with unclear content appeared, the situation escalated to a new level as followers scrutinized every word. Phrases like "this changes" and "we need to be careful, everything," which, depending on one's point of view, were examined incessantly and construed as either confirmation or pure coincidence. Whether confirmed or conjectural, every new piece of information became a topic for response videos, blog entries, and podcasts that analyzed the developing controversy. Audiences continued coming back to social media platforms because they were curious about what would be revealed next. According to reports, Yandy's pals made a secret attempt at mediation, urging her to ask Mendes personally for clarification. According to sources, the discussion was uncomfortable when it did happen, with sighs, pauses, and obvious emotional tension. Mendes reportedly refuted the most serious charges, trying to defend himself while negotiating the public hypertension that had increased unexpectedly. There was no denying the emotional stakes, and the account of the meeting gave fans more material for conjecture as they analyzed tone, body language, and word choice in an effort to uncover the truth. By carefully balancing tease and revelation, Tasha K kept the audience interested without going beyond and making statements that might raise ethical or legal issues. She made references to insider reports, enigmatic communications, and the chronology of previous incidents that hinted to a secret story. The ensuing debate dominated entertainment forums, social media comment sections, and private group conversations as fans conjectured that these indications were cues to a larger plot. The narratives. As they attempted to piece together the intricacies, viewers were captivated for hours, if not days, by the intricacy and the possible emotional consequences. There were rumors that Mendes had taken action to keep the matter under wraps, contacting friends and relatives to handle perceptions while preserving his reputation. Some thought he was deliberately controlling his reputation, while others said he was trying to shield his kids from the emotional toll of what was happening. The blend of the situation was ideal for dramatic interpretations, because to the personal stakes and public scrutiny. Based on bits of information that were making the rounds online, fans imagined anything from passionate reconciliations to violent clashes. As the narrative gathered steam, the fan, blogger, and pundit community become more involved. Some sided with Yandy, supporting her fortitude in the face of treachery. Others argued about Mendeecees, thought his perspective had been misunderstood or disregarded. Absent or present, Jasmine came to represent mystery and intrigue. Every post or absence is examined for hidden, in other words, a fascinating story that was hard to ignore. An ideal for recurrent participation across several social media platforms, was produced by the mix of secrecy, suspicion, and high emotional stakes. Viewers' feeling of urgency was heightened by Tasha K's constant hinting that there was more to come. Viewers attempted to make sense of the fresh accusations in light of previous episodes, social media